So let's work on our portrait. I want to show you the sample that we're going to be creating and what you're going to learn from that. So let's look at the learning objectives first, right? It's always a good thing to do. So this is the board chart we're going to create in 100% polyester, whoever got polyester, right? What are we learning from here? We're covering four different types of pockets. And the first one is our usual one, and we already covered last semester, is the welt pocket, right? We have a welt pocket, but what different is it going to be between our usual welt pocket is we're going to put our mesh inside, all right? We're going to put our athletic mesh. You have to remember that these board shorts, they are intended for riding a skateboard or also going into the surfing, right? They don't have the pant inside from the mesh, right, with the elastic, because it's not a swimming trunk. But we do know that the male customer still swims in board shorts, right? So it needs to drain water. That's one of our purposes. Your microfiber is water repellent, so it's kind of funny, two things, right? Water repellent, so it quickly dries and repels water, but we do need to make sure our pockets don't bubble up, right? Imagine if you're going with pockets into the water. You're going to be like one big balloon everywhere, and the water is heavy, and how you weren't supposed to get on your surfboard, right? So it has to drain water, and there's two ways to drain water. It's either a mesh, and that's what we're going to do on most of our pockets. It's either mesh or grommets. But quite often you see both, combination of both, grommets and mesh. Like this pocket is a large pocket with a lot of pleating. These little things just will not drain water fast enough. So it's good to have an alternative option, okay? Okay, so the first pocket, as I started, is our regular single welt pocket with the mesh and with the flap, right? Our second pocket we'll be covering is hip inseam. This is our next one, is the hip inseam. Same thing with the mesh inside, hip inseam with the mesh inside. The third pocket we're going to be covering is poacher's pocket. Poacher's pocket is this with the pleating, with our box pleating, and with the mesh pleats on side. So that because it has mesh pleats on side, it's not a patch pocket, right? Patch is just like a patch, right? But this one creates like a 3D stuff business in here, right? And it also has a Velcro for pocket opening. And our fourth pocket we're covering here is two pockets in one. So almost like you're covering 5 pockets in total, because it's a patch pocket, plus it's a double welt in here. It's a double welt as well. And same thing, we have drainage here for the water, right? And we have something that it stays closed, right? Because imagine if it's a lot of water, it's just going to be drooping like this. You have to have something that it closes with, right? Okay, so this is our board shorts. And I want to show you what, I have two samples that are actual from the bot, right? Those that were purchased. And those are, one is microfiber polyester, and it has a lot of piping. Piping is a very popular detail in board shorts because it has a nice separation between contrast fabrics, right? It has a nice separation. So this one is, look at this, a lot of different style lines, and I would like you to start thinking about what you're doing. And I know many of you already have it prepared, right? But some of you, since we have some students didn't take the last semester class, you will have to start thinking about that. But keep in mind, those are quite old. So look at this, even a patch pocket has to have some drainage, right? And there are so many different board shorts every year, year after year. It's really what you're going to make special with the color combination, with your style lines, with your pocketing, right? Welt pocket is a welt pocket. What are you going to add, right? A patch pocket is a patch pocket. What are you going to do different to add? Like, for example, this one has an interesting top stitching, right? So what kind of style lines you're going to add? And if you're going to have white, obviously a smart idea is to have it fully lined with mesh, right? Because white shows sort of everything. So with this one, and of course in board shorts we have usually our eyelet pieces. so you can string them even though you have a Velcro on the bottom piece. But this fabric is a little bit different. This one has, I believe, 8 or 9% of spandex, so it stretches. Look at this, you see it's already different than this fabric, right? So this is slicker on the body, but it's the rest is 92% is polyester, so it still dries fast, it's still water repellent. And one thing you'll have to remember when we're doing the waistband, not like women's waistband, we did like last year on our pants, right? Remember, we just had a plain rectangle and we put it in. You see how this waistband is really curves to the hip? So this is your contour waistband, okay? So, and look at this waistband is like almost a facing, it's stitched to the inside. So in a men's board short, you'll have to remember, either you stitch on outside, like this one is stitched inside too, on outside like that, or you stitch it like a facing on inside, okay? But it is pretty much a pattern of a waistband. So, so this one has darts on the back because it doesn't have any style lines. This one, look at this. This one has contour style lines. This one has contour style lines. So the darts absorb, hello Bill, the darts absorb into the style lines, right? So to give a buttocks shape. But this one actually has darts in here. And very interesting style lines. And our nylon zipper, right? So you don't see the teeth, right? And it doesn't, water repellent, right? Absolutely. Water repellent, and of course our mesh inside, okay? Okay, so when we're going to work on this guy, it's a little bit odd pattern because how I showed you this, one has a dart pant and the other doesn't have a dart because it has a style line, right? So what we're doing with our board short, and when you're working on your own, you will select one or the other. You have two options for the back. And it's a little odd because you usually don't see in the board shorts one buttocks is this way and the other is that way. You choose which one. But we're doing this on purpose so you learn both ways. This is the buttocks. Okay, so look at this. One we will have with the dart in here, right? If you don't want to have any style lines. And this one with the dart absorbed, so it gives you shape in here. So it comes together to the same shape. It's just when you're working on your own design, you will be selecting, and it doesn't have to be this yoke shape, right? It doesn't have to be. You can change the yoke shape, the width shape, whatever that is, but it will have to be something in here like slicing through the dart. That's what you have to keep in mind, okay? So that, okay? Okay, so I will also show you, I have a couple of examples from the past. Students didn't get, I had two students worked on the same sort of idea. This one painted her shorts in here with a different type, and of course with the, because it's white color, right, you do have to line it. So it did her own textile treatment to this one, okay? This one was very, sorry, I'm like grabbing your pins in here. This one went very interesting. Look at this adjustment to the waist, very important. Love that little detail, right? Love this little detail. You have adjustment to the waistband. So, but the same idea, her idea of a yoke was to have the angular cutouts in here, right? Angular, and of course, the pockets in here, everything what needs to be done. So I want you to really start looking. It's already spring merchandise in stores. It is already flooded with board shorts. I want you just to go to regular store, anything like Macy's, and start exploring board shorts. See what this year they're trying to attract male customers with, and how do they put the print on their garments, and what are they doing to basic mundane pockets, right? What can you do to like a basic box split pocket? Start exploring that, right? What are you going to do different, right? Okay, so this is that, and then this student did a lot of interesting cutouts. This is all cut out in here. So this is really complicating your life in here. Complicating, right? But for you, remember, please, we're going to print your fabric. Okay, remember, we're going to print your fabric. So this is a special thing. If in the industry you're printing your fabric, this is your trick. Okay, you don't need to do cutouts or whatever that is, because cutouts is to grab attention. If you're doing print, you're grabbing attention with a print. You're not going to be doing all kinds of stuff. It's like we spoke about your swimwear, tremploi effect, right? It looks like there's something in there, but it's your print does the whole thing. Speak through your print to your customer, okay? Okay, so that was just black and white. Okay, and okay, so any questions about the basic pant what we're doing? So you can see that a lot of pieces and putting these pockets together is right. Okay, but it's fun though. So let's go ahead and start with our first steps. We're going to start with our back pocket. With the, don't go anywhere, don't go, we're going to start right now. Right, we're going to start right with this guy, okay? So, you're going to, I'm going to keep it like this open so you know what we're working on. Okay, so first of all, you're going to take your two pieces in here, and I have it all labeled nicely for you. You're going to fuse your 35 and 20. Okay, you're going to fuse them, and look how we're fusing them. We're keeping 1/8 away from the edge. Okay, so fusing doesn't go all the way. We don't want to bulk up the seam, we just want to strengthen the seam. Again, don't forget that, right? There's 3 different ways to put fusing in there. So keep 1/8 away from the edges. So you prepared that guy. Then while you're fusing, you're going to take your piece number 29 and your big number 2. This one is your pant. This is your back pant, the one with the darts. And you're going to fuse the wrong side. You're going to cover 2 sets of punch holes, okay? We have 5 punch holes on the top. We have this punch hole, but this one belongs to your dart. And then you have 1, 2, 1, 2, okay? 2 sets. 1 set for the pocket, the second set is for the flap. Okay, that's why we have 2 sets. So you have to fuse wrong side, and I would like us to speak the same language when I say wrong side. Covering the 2 sets. You don't need to cover the dart one, okay? When I say the wrong side, our pattern says RSU. When you were cutting out, placing your pattern piece on the fabric, it said RSU, means right side up. That means that this is right side up. This is your wrong side, okay? Because if you do it wrong, your pocket will be, turns out to be on a left buttocks instead of right buttocks, okay? So you're going to fuse this, and then I would like you to take your piece number 19. This is your welt, and lengthwise press in half. Okay, I would like you to press this in half, and then I would like you to take your, so we prepared this, and then I would like you to take your piece number 34. It tells you here all the numbers, right? You don't need to memorize. And check mark. Every time you're done, please check mark to make sure you didn't skip a thing. We're going to put this together. We're creating this. We're creating a flap. But for the flap, for the board shorts, of course, we have to have some sort of something to grab with, right? And write things on the athletic wear, we always have like tape. You can use this, you can take anything what we have in a closet. I just grabbed something from here. So you're going to take 4 inches, you're going to fold in half, you're going to fold in half, okay? This is not appropriate thing, of course, right? This is your styling tape. And you're going to take and put these things right sides together. Right sides together, but this is going to be with the raw edge of this right center. Find the center between here, okay, and place this together, okay, and you're going to be stitching 1/4 of an inch all around, keeping this big a raw edge open, okay? Keep this big raw edge open, okay? And after you stitch that, you are going to clip your V's in here, okay? Like in a V shape, okay? Like in a V shape, your corners. Turn right side out, and you will top stitch, okay? top stitch. So let's prepare the flap, let's prepare your pieces, and then we'll start assembling your belt pocket, okay? Okay, so let's start doing this.